What up, YouTube? Timu's here. Now, a few minutes ago, I did my top 10 favorite Latinx movies. So now, since it is also the last month of Hispanic Heritage Month, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite Latinx TV shows. There are some really good films, that features a Hispanic cast, but there are also some pretty decent shows that also includes a really great Hispanic cast. So with that being said, here's my 10 favorite Latinx TV shows. Alright, coming in at number 10, I'm going to go with the Disney Channel series Stuck in the Middle. Now this show stars Jenna Ortega, who's actually being pretty bigger now, because of course she was recently just on season 2 of You. She was just in the new Netflix film Babysitter Killer Queen. She's going to be seeing the upcoming next Scream film. Cannot wait to check that one out. But before that, she ended up starring this Disney Channel original series Stuck in the Middle. And here she plays the middle child named Holly Diaz. And the show is pretty much about her and her families, including her older sister, her younger sisters. And this show is told from Holly's point of view, with like humor and all that. Anyway, I think the show was pretty solid. Probably one of the better Disney Channel shows they had in recent years. I thought her siblings were pretty hysterical. Her older sister, of course, she was also on the block. She was pretty decent. The one who plays her parents are pretty good. The show, it lasted pretty good. It lasted pretty good. I believe there was only like 5 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. For most shows, not bad. Anyway, Stuck in the Middle was, I guess you could say it was like Atlantic version of Malcolm in the Middle in a way. It had a bit of a Malcolm in the Middle vibe to it. But anyway, if you guys have not really seen Stuck in the Middle yet, give it a watch. Alright. Number 9, I'm going to go with the ABC show Cristela. Now, this show sadly didn't last too long. I believe it only lasted for about probably just 2 seasons. But in it stars Cristela Alonzo, who plays this, who of course plays this, mother, who's pretty much trying to deal with her family and all. You also had Fluffy himself, Miss Gabriel Iglesias was in this. The show was actually pretty hilarious. They even had a really fun crossover with Last Man Standing. That was pretty cool to watch. Cristela is a pretty funny comic. I thought she was terrific in this. Her chemistry with her on-screen kids was pretty good. You also had the one who plays the mother from Wizard of Waverly Place. She also appeared in this. You had some interesting cast lists here. I mean, I guess you say it was a bit like a female version of the George Lopez show. But Cristela was pretty decent. It's a shame it didn't last too long. Alright. Coming in at number 8, I'm going to go with Veda. Now, this is a show on Starz that only lasted for 3 seasons. It recently ended its run, this year. And it is a drama, I guess you say more of a drama. It has, comedy in it, too. About, these 2 Mexican-American, siblings from, East Los Angeles. You got, the party girl, Lynn, played by, Melissa Barrera. Speaking of someone who's going to be in the next Scream film. Who's this carefree life in the Bay Area, and her older sister Emma. She has a nice relationship with her, but Emma is running running a bar here, and they're trying to, and their mother also passed, so they're so pretty much they're trying to learn the surprising truth about their mother's identity here. You got some other interesting characters featured in Veda. And this was a pretty decent show. Melissa Barrera, by the way, she looked pretty good in this. Probably one of Starz' best TV shows, in my opinion. Melissa Barrera, and the one who plays her sister. I forgot her name. I think it's Misha something Patera, I think her name is. Forgot the actual actress's name. But those two had some pretty good chemistry with one another. Sadly, it didn't really last long, but 3 seasons, I guess, wasn't so bad. And of course, this also included like a LGBTQ storyline, features like some romance storylines and all. And also does include immigration storylines. It had some storylines that that pretty much felt like in today's environment and all. Number 7, I'm gonna go with One Day at a Time. Now, of course, the show was like a reimagining of Norman Lear's 1975 sitcom of the same name. This time around, it's a series that really follows 3 generations of a Cuban family living in the same house together. You got Justina Mercado, who pretty much plays a single mother who has to raise her 2 kids alongside her old-fashioned mother, played wonderfully by Rita Moreno. And I thought Rita was really terrific in this film. Her kids, of course, was pretty good. This also has a LGBTQ storyline too. I think that's pretty cool. The show, of course, first premiered on Netflix, but then it got canceled from Netflix, and so Pop TV, the home for Schitt's Creek, they ended up picking up the series. It's a pretty solid show. Justin Mercado, I think it's really terrific on this. Rita steals so much scenes on the show. I mean, it's not like the original or anything, but it's still pretty decent. So if you guys haven't never really seen the reboot of One Day at a Time, it's pretty solid. All right, number 6 is a recent one, and sadly this show didn't last so long, but that is Party of 5. Now this is also a reboot of a TV show that premiered back in the 90s. This time around, it includes like 5 children who are suddenly find themselves without their parents after their parents ends up getting deported, and so like the oldest son has to raise his siblings pretty much all alone. It's very similar to very different to the original, because in the original Party 5 included the siblings have to take care of themselves after their parents ends up getting killed in a car crash. But this time it's a totally different story where the kids' parents are deported. So it's a very different storyline than the original. But I thought the one who plays the older brother, I think the actor's name is Brendan Larraquin. He was in Dirty Reasons Why. I forgot his actual don't know if I pronounced his last name well. But I thought he was pretty good. Emily Tossa, who plays like the older sister, I thought she was great. The one who plays like the young sister, she was pretty solid here. The one who plays the brother was pretty good. They all really had some good solid chemistry with one another. I mean, tragically, this show did not last. It only lasted for 1 season, which I wish it would last a lot more, because it was a pretty decent show. Alright, number 5, I'm going to go with Ugly Betty. Now, the series focuses on the life of this wannabe writer named Betty Suarez, played by America Ferrera, who is this plain girl from Queens, New York, who is like smart and hardworking and all. And she, the Betty character is not that attractive really, but the show does a pretty good job at with America Ferrera, portraying this role really well, and shows that just that you don't have to be fully beautiful to get what you want in life and all. And the show is pretty hilarious. America Ferrera, I thought, was terrific on this series. You also had Vanessa Williams, was great. Of course, America Ferrera ended up, after the show, she, of course, ended up starring on NBC's Superstore. She's pretty good on that show. So, yeah, if you guys have not really seen Ugly Betty, give it a shot. It's a pretty decent show. It lasts for a pretty good season, too. And I believe America Ferrera actually scored a couple of award love for this, too. So, pretty solid series. Number 4, I'm going to go with Orange is the New Black. Now, Orange is the New Black, I guess, it's not really more, like, it's a very diverse show, really. But, of course, it is a series that takes place, pretty much takes place in prison. So, yeah, of course, it's gonna be is a very diverse series. But some of the best characters on the show are probably the Hispanic actresses in this. Like some of the characters includes Daenerys Diaz, played by Dasha Pelicano, Alita Diaz, played by Elizabeth Rodriguez, Gloria Mendoza, played by Salinas Lavia. Jackie Cruz was pretty good in this. Diane Guerrero was pretty good. The storyline do follow many of the Atlanta characters, but of course the show is mostly centered around Piper's character played by Taylor Schilling. This show of course includes like immigration storylines and all. But I think the characters are really solid in this. Like, I'll even be down to see a spin-off featuring some of the characters. Like, I'll definitely love to see some sort of spin-off featuring the Ramos character, played by Diane Guerrero, who's, of course, pretty good on Doom Patrol, by the way. I mean, those characters are really solid. And I also do like the flashback scenes of, how they got to prison and all. I mean, if you guys have not really seen Orange is the New Black, Season 7 ended last year, so there's only 7 seasons. It's a pretty decent show. Alright. Coming in at number 3, might be a bit cheap, but I'm going to go with I Love Lucy. Now, of course, Lucia Boa is not Spanish or anything. But the show does focus on her and her lover here, who is this Cuban band leader named Ricky Ricardo, portrayed by Desi Arnaz, who of course was married to Lucia Boa in real life. I mean, I Love Lucy. Come on, it's one of the most iconic TV shows of the 1940s, 50s. Forgot the actual year it first premiered. But it's a really solid show. It has lots of fun laughs in it. Lucille Boa and Desi both had some really solid chemistry with one another. I mean, Ricky, of course, here is really trying to become like a movie star as well, so there's that. I mean, it's a pretty decent show. If you guys never really seen I Love Lucy, they do show reruns on TV once in a while. It's really decent. One of the most iconic TV shows of all time. And who does not love Lucille Boa? She is just iconic. Number 2, I'm going to go with the show On My Block, another show on Netflix. Now, this show does follow a bright street safety of friends who are navigating their way through a high school. And you got lots of really talented, really amazing Latinx characters. Like, you got the character of Ruby, Jamora, Moniz is in this, the character Caesar's pretty good, and it does take place in a or Hispanic Black neighborhood in South Central LA. And it's a really solid coming of age tale. They have not really announced the season 4, by the way. I'm a little surprised that we haven't really got some sort of announcement about season 4, but anyway, at least they did not leave it with a cliffhanger, because this show has a habit of leaving off with a cliffhanger. That aside, On My Block is really hilarious. It's a nice coming-of-age series. Netflix does these coming-of-age shows pretty well, and On My Block shows how great they could be with these coming-of-age series. So yeah, if you guys haven't really seen On My Block yet, there's mostly 3 seasons. Give it a shot. Pretty solid right here. Oh, and not to mention, you also had a few other great cast members too. Some interesting cast of characters here in this. Alright, my number 1 favorite Latinx TV show of all time is going to go to the George Lopez show. I mean, of course, you got George Lopez, who plays the family man and this line worker, who pretty much is trying to deal with his devoted wife, played by Constance Marie. His children, Max and Carmen, are pretty hilarious. But obviously, the best part of this whole series is pretty much the one who plays George Lopez's mother, Benny, played by Benito Martinez. She is just hilarious. Her, I guess you say she isn't the best mother in the world or anything, but the character of Benny is just hilarious. All her one-liners are just perfect. Also, the one who plays Angie's dad, he's pretty hilarious too. The character Ernie steals loads of scenes. By the way, the actor who played Ernie, he's also on the High School Musical show. I thought that was pretty cool to see him on that. But anyway, George Lopez, this is hands down just awesome. I mean, you also had some interesting guest appearance. Like, I mean, Paris Hilton even made a guest spot. I believe Eva Longoria made a guest spot one time. Sandra Bullock appeared on this. Lou Diamond Phillips, Andy Garcia. You had some interesting folks who ended up making guest appearance on this. And I still watch it on Nick at Night whenever I get a chance to. It's hilarious, funny. It gets a little... there's some dramatic moments in this too, but the whole series is just hilarious. I remember when George Lopez first premiered, it premiered around like... It premiered after when My Wife and Kids premiered, and that was like the first time ever that two diversity shows ever premiered back to back. I mean, yeah, George Lopez is definitely a great one. Yeah, if you guys haven't really seen the George Lopez show, go give it a watch. Boy, George Lopez needs to see about doing some sort of revival. It'll be interesting to see what the what the characters have been through all these years since the show ended. I believe it ended back in 2005, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, definitely go check out the George Lopez show if you guys never seen it. Alright, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10, Stuck in the Middle. 9, Cristela. 8, Veda. 7, One Day at a Time. 6, Party of 5. 5, Ugly Betty. 4, Orange is the New Black. 3, I Love Lucy. 2, On My Block. And number 1 is George Lopez. Now, there's loads of other ones I probably could have added. I guess you could count Modern Family. Let's see. What else we got here? I guess if you really want to, you could technically count the Fosters. Because, two of the siblings are Spanish. So I guess you could count the Fosters there. Switch at Birth, you could probably count. Speaking of Costas Marie. Ashley Garcia, Jeans of the Love. Never really seen this show, so I can't really add it in my list. Gentfield, I never seen that one. Devious Maze, not really into that show, to be honest with you. Jane the Virgin, lots of people like that show, but I'm one of the few folks who wasn't really a fan of it. I do like Jane Rodriguez, though. Like, she is just straight up awesome, but... Yeah, let's see... Queen of the South, I probably could have added. Pose. Some pretty decent ones. But let me leave you guys. What are some of your favorite Latinx TV shows? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Simu signing off.